Welcome to AccountKit. In this video, we are going to showcase how you can set up your practice settings for your compliance tools. Jumping down to your name, down on the bottom left-hand side, we jump into Practice Settings, and across the top we have our various options for the areas of settings we wish to change, and we're going to jump into Tool Settings in this video. On the right-hand side of screen, you will see a list of your compliance tools. Everything from Amortization Scheduler through to your Inter-Entity Loan tool, as they're listed in your Compliance Tools section in AccountKit. We open up these elements to then showcase the standard settings we would like the majority of our schedules to be built in accordance with. The idea being that you set this up so that 80% of your clients are built the same way, with the remaining 20% being able to be adjusted as and when needed for their specific circumstances directly in the schedule, saving you time each time you create a new schedule. First, we select whether we want journals to be allocated automatically in the software. By default, this will be switched on, and obviously this is only based on when a zero file is connected to the system. We then come down to our next element, which is accounting for current and non-current entries. If this is something your business uses as a standard, please toggle this element on. Account for unexpired amortization entries. We utilize this element if we are treating elements for unexpired amortization. Again, switching this on if it is necessary for your business and for the majority of your clients. Showing apportionment journals on a cash basis reporting element. This is designed to replicate what showcases in your Zero Blue file for your client so that these journals can be shown on cash basis reports. And then finally, utilizing the account default tax codes for journal allocations. So if we've got a default tax code allocated to a particular account in Xero, AccountKit will utilize this as such. Underneath that, we have the ability then to adjust our amortization types. Everything from prepaid income through to borrowing expenses will be in here by default. But if you have other types that you would like to handle, either on the income or the expense side for amortization elements, you can add these in by clicking Create New. We then come down to our next tool, which is the Div 7a tool. And we have again this option here to showcase these interest journals on cash basis reports inside Zero Blue. We also have the ability here to project forward your Div 7a rate. Now note that AccountKit by default will project forward the current ATO rate, so do not feel like this element needs to be added in with a figure, as we will project forward standard rates from the current tax year. However, if you do wish to forecast, you can allocate an element in here for an interest rate going forward for future years. We then come down to equipment finance, and very similar to the amortization scheduler, we make our decisions around automatic journal posting, unexpired interest, current and non-current entries if you're handling these as a standard in your business, reporting purchase journal and interest journals on cash basis reports, and whether we're utilizing the default tax codes on interest journals. Noting here that the one difference here will be the purchase journal. This is where you're allocating the purchase from AccountKit to Xero for the various equipment that you're allocating to the equipment finance tool. Next, we jump down to the franking account register. Very simply here, these are designed to be guidelines for your staff to follow as to what needs to be allocated to the franking account register, ensuring that staff, particularly junior staff, are following in accordance with the rules set in place around franking account handling. This generally stops people allocating things like GST incorrectly to the franking account register. Then finally, we have our Inter-Entity Loan tool, and this gives us the ability to then again show reports on cash basis reporting for our journals that we're allocating down to Zero Blue. And then most importantly, showing a username on journal narrations down into the Inter-Entity Loan tool. Now note, when you do post journals from AccountKit down to Zero Blue for the Inter-Entity Loan tool, you can see in the audit trail in AccountKit who is posting those journals. So you as the practice will see which staff member has completed this activity. This is only to showcase in the narration inside 0 the person who has actually made the posting. And that is all of your settings within the compliance tools under practice settings. Have a great day.